A murderer with an IQ of only 5 years old likes to take living people and use them as puppets. The murderer not only twists off their hands and feet, but also drills holes and threads strings in their hands. And then later on, he replaces the victims with a piece of pig skin so that they can wear this pig skin and perform on the stage. And the murderer can manipulate them at will by just using the strings, and finally the puppets dance gracefully on the stage under his control. On this day, the police received a wooden crate which hid a male body. The body has a number of obvious strangulation marks, but the strange thing is that the murderer dyed the dead man's hair black and also twisted his hands and feet. Followed by another couple was kidnapped, and soon the boy's body was found in the neighborhood. Also was dyed black hair, twisted the joints. But unlike the last victim, the murderer painted the victim with red nail polish this time. It seems that the murderer has a requirement for the deceased's appearance. Rossi thinks that both victims are male. The murderer must have a special fetish, and the girl has not been found so far, so she may be living only because she meets the murderer's requirements. The medical examiner conducted an autopsy on the two victims. After the autopsy, it was found that the dead man's neck had multiple strangulation marks. Obviously, the dead man had been hung with a rope many times, and the x-ray showed that the dead man's joints were dislocated, but there was still bone in the growth, which indicated that the dead man was still alive after his joints were twisted and broken, and the agents hadn't waited for them to react to it. And the third body appeared again. The same body had been stuffed into the wooden crate, but this time the technique was different again, and the third dead man's hands had 2 extra blood holes. Nick checked the residence of the deceased, found that the murderer is to borrow the phone to trick into the victim's home, and avoided all the cameras in the vicinity, indicating that the murderer is in advance to observe the surrounding situation. Otherwise, it is impossible to know clearly all the monitoring blind spot. Combined with the clues known so far, the members of the team launched the first round of analysis. They speculate that the murderer is a male over 30 years of age. He may have a delusional disorder and is kidnapping of the victim for the purpose of fulfilling a fantasy in his mind.